Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-8888-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, and Barry the boater rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information on this 19-year anniversary of the World of Boating radio show. I kid you not, no fooling. It really is the 19-year anniversary of the World of Boating radio show. Shocking, yeah. I know. And I do have a major announcement. We are hereby called the World of Bloating.
Okay.
From here on out, because I figured, after 19 years, it's time for a change.
You figure after 19 years, you'd come up with a better joke than that, because you do that one almost every year.
Okay, we'll go with the World of Gloating then, and we'll just gloat how right we've been over the years.
I know 19 years ago, my beard was not this color.
Yeah, what's
you
it?
have a beard?
Is that what that is?
This thing, yeah. It's better than
I thought that was a stick-on.
Yeah.
A stick-on? No.
He's been wearing a tribble on his lower lip for years, for the last 5 or so. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
look like Santa Claus. Either.
World of Floating, maybe?
World of Floating,
No,
yeah.
we should have come on and said we're changing format, the world of smoking, and we could have talked cigars.
Okay.
Well, then we need Casey the tobacco nut to join us.
Exactly. We could have actually pulled it off, but
Yeah.
we'll go with Greg's bloating thing.
All right,
again.
bloating or gloating? It'll depend. I kind of like World of Gloating, too, where you just get on and talk about how right we've been over the years.
World of soaking, we could have talked hot tubs.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
Or we could stick with the World of Boating. I don't know. It's April Fool's Day. That happens to be our anniversary. I'm not fooling. It really is. But who would have thunk it that we'd still be doing this after 19 years? Just too dumb to stop.
Who would have thought that I wouldn't have killed you by now?
Well, that's why we are connected remotely now. Right. Exactly.
Greg.
Yes, Barry, what do you think?
I know this is a spinoff from your original show. And did you purposely start on April 1st? Did it have something to do with your wife said, you better get a job soon or I'm going to throw you out?
No, it wasn't that. And I'd like to say that we actually planned April Fool's Day to be our anniversary date, or, the day we launched. But it just kind of worked out that way. We didn't realize it till the first anniversary. And like, holy crap, it's Fool's
Day. You didn't notice it the first time around?
Because we started the show, and it was just like, we were all, hot and heavy and trying to figure out what we were going to talk about on our first broadcast, and didn't really take into account, like, hey, it's April 1st, right? So when we started, people probably thought it was a gag, and here we are 19 years later. So go figure. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for 19 years of nonsense. We're still here, still kicking, still doing it, because like I said, too dumb to stop. So why bother? After a certain amount of time, you just figure, well, okay, might as well just keep doing it. Don't got nothing else to do on a Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern time every Saturday. You think, Barry?
Patrick, do you think it's time to cash in our PTO?
Of course.
No, I want T-shirts made that say World of Boating, too dumb to stop.
All right. There you go.
Oh, that's actually good, because this T-shirt here is getting rather ratty.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's gone through 372 scuba radio shirts, and we're still on the same design from 19 years ago.
Yeah, but you guys can order whatever World of Boating shirt you want to do now.
What do you mean order?
Yeah, it's all print on demand now these days. I'm not holding you back. You guys can.
Okay.
You can get World of Boating underwear made, bras, whatever you prefer. I don't care.
No.
I'm not
wearing one of your bras.
Yeah, we're definitely renegotiating at contract time again.
All right.
If I got to order my own shirts, man, come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk boats. And specifically, let's talk cruise ships. One that I've been on. And once again, it does count. If you're on a cruise ship, it is a boat. And that makes you thereby a boater, even though Patrick and Barry don't agree. But in this case,
it's a ship. And you're a cruiser.
Well, it's a boat, too. It's the NCL Encore, is in the news. I've been on this vessel, and they have one of the unique things about this cruise ship is that it has a go-kart track on the top of it, which is pretty wild. And
useless.
No, it's actually a lot of fun. The go-karts, the track is remarkable, to be honest with you. When you go and see it firsthand, the cars are electric. This isn't some kind of, slow-moving, goofy thing that's a gimmick. I mean, the go-kart track on the top of this particular cruise ship is actually quite, it can get a little zippy. It's
not
very
the Grand
fun.
Prix Raceway at Disney World.
It's not far from it.
No. Well,
Let me put it this way. It's way better than you would expect a go-kart track to be on a cruise ship. It's a lot of fun.
Do they go underwater, Greg?
They do not go underwater unless you jump
then
track.
They don't meet my expectation.
Yeah.
what would be interesting is if you had 13-foot waves and you were out on that track.
Well, here's the thing. It is pretty high-tech. Like I said, the cars are electric, so they zip around the track pretty quick. You can actually watch the racers and shoot them with some kind of laser gun, like you're the cops, and that will slow down the car. So,
Really?
yeah. So you can participate in the race, and they time it and the whole thing and everything. But the reason it's in the news is evidently somebody got on this racetrack and got hurt. I think it was a young girl in her early teens, like 14 or so, I think is what I read, Patrick. But
correct.
her
From
family is now suing the cruise line because they're saying that even though she signed a release, which you always would have to do in any activity on a cruise ship, that it shouldn't hold up, and they should be able to sue the cruise line for whatever it's worth. You think, Patrick? What do you think?
Well, her attorney or her family's attorney, Mr. Ehrenfeld, the lawsuit states that she suffers from whiplash, loss of consciousness,
Right.
possible traumatic brain injury, possible neurological injuries, pain, suffering, and other head, neck, shoulder, back, leg, and other injuries.
Yeah.
So I think he checked all the boxes. Number one. And the attorney, Mr. Ehrenfeld, said he is prepared to argue, ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
Okay.
that waivers cruise lines often have passengers sign before participating in onboard activities are not legally enforceable. To which I say, nay, sir, you are wrong. You're going to lose. If I was on the jury, it's called personal responsibility. If not for someone who is legally able to make that decision, then their parents that allowed them to do it, and you get nothing. Your client gets nothing. Zip, zilch, nada. Go back to Canada. Don't come across the border again.
Okay.
Stay up north.
Judge Patrick has spoken. Barry, what say you?
Do ships have to be? Do they follow nautical law?
Well, they're in international waters. Yeah.
So I mean,
They have to give way.
Yeah. So I mean, this would have to be a ship attorney or a nautical attorney to even.
You did say ship, right?
Ship,
With a
yeah.
P? Okay,
With a P.
ship
Be
attorney.
careful.
Ship.
So what we would call in the biz a maritime
attorney. That's it.
Well, I don't know that it is. It's just an attorney, period, looking out for, a payday, trying to figure he could argue something. Big company, deep pockets. Let's see if we can sue them and get them to
First
settle,
of all,
if nothing
where's
else, right?
Norwegian where are they even headquartered? I mean, how's that ship flagged, Greg? You've been on it.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure where they.
I'll find out.
Where the
Go ahead, keep
Encore is.
talking.
But it's usually some island,
It's Bahamian.
or something.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: they're trying to ruin it for the rest of us because that go-kart thing actually is quite fun. And if this lawsuit moves forward, they're just trying to get money as usual. They're going to shut it down, or they'll slow it down and make it no fun, ruin it for the rest of us. I mean, come on, personal responsibility.
The rest of us.
Well, you would do it, wouldn't you, Barry? Come on, you would ride a go-kart.
Of course I do. There's a K1 Speed that's electric go-kart track down here.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I love go-karts. Remember, I raced cars.
Right. Okay. No, I didn't remember that. I blocked it out years ago. All right. So anyway, I guess we've talked about that enough. Let's talk about more stuff next on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Be an explorer in the other two-thirds of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Even Keatley wasn't ready for me, or anything that followed. Chased by a police department, led by his ex-girlfriend, and hunted by brain fork-wielding Fijian assassins, it's everything he can do to keep from getting locked up, killed, or worse. Kava Screw is available as an ebook for $2.99 at Amazon.com. Kava Screw. Put a brain fork in him. He's done.
This is the world of goating. Yes, world of goating. I am Greg, your first sheep herder or goat herder. Barry, the goater.
Only 45 more minutes of this, Patrick.
Yeah.
Just leave me out of this one, Greg, all right?
And then Captain Patrick
Stop
was.
it.
All right. Well, I was going to say he was.
He's our captain.
He's in charge of the,
Nope.
scooping up the dung.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
look, just one more little tidbit that we want to share about that cruise line and how it applies to you. You know, like if you just take your boat out and you're in national waters and someone stubs a toe, I mean, is that the boat owner's fault? No. Your own insurance should cover that. You didn't do it, right? But the lawyers like to try to sue everybody they can, and that's why you have to have insurance, I guess. Is that right, Patrick? What do you think?
You should have insurance, but to your question, whether you are in international waters or domestic waters, if you own the boat, I mean, you're a private boat owner, you're not a corporation. You're not going to be afforded any protections by, having, because your home port, your home country. Okay, you're not flagging your 38-foot boat. You're not registering it in the Bahamas, or maybe you are. I don't know,
Yeah.
or Cameroon, or whatever.
Right.
However, here's when it comes to maritime law, and this is what I was told many, 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 many years ago, by somebody who worked in the industry, was actually doing my training as I was working towards my 100-ton master endorsement, is that. When you deal with maritime law, what you think of in terms of civil law, or what you nothing, it doesn't matter. There's especially for licensed captains, there's this catch-all that you can be found guilty of, which is gross negligence, which means you're out on my boat, you stub your toe, all you need is an attorney that says, Captain Patrick, were you aware that this hazard existed in your boat?
Were you aware that this guy could have stubbed his toe? Was
No,
going
not that,
to?
Not that you could have,
No,
but
it's not that.
wherever you stubbed your toe, let's say it was on a sharp edge, and I was, I'd be like, well, yeah, I was aware. I mean, it's part of the design of the boat. So you were aware that somebody, did you instruct my client that he had to wear shoes while he was on your boat? No, people are not allowed to wear shoes on my boat. They have to take their shoes off. Oh, so you admit that you had him take off protection, the only protection that could have afforded him not losing the toenail from his little pinky. He is now horribly disfigured. He is being shunned by his family, shunned by his coworkers, shunned by the goats that he tends to on a daily basis. You owe my client $90 million.
It sounds something like you've been through this before.
No, he
Patrick.
watched Law and Order a few
is
episodes.
that it?
No, I have never been sued for something that's occurred out on the water, and I hopefully I never do, because again, as a licensed captain, it's a different. There's different laws. Maritime law is not the same as civil law. They pull up these regulations. We've talked about this on the air before, from 1832. You know that these laws still apply. On your paddle wheel boat. Well, we never updated the law, so you can apply it. The courts will apply it. The maritime court will apply it to current vessels, and you're like, that makes absolutely no sense. Doesn't matter. You are being found guilty of gross negligence. The terrible example. And I don't mean terrible in that it was a bad example, but the incident that occurred that I was instructed about many, many, many years ago had to do with a charter boat, and one of the passengers that suffered a fatal heart attack was dead even before he hit the deck. However, the crew was trained. All the certifications were current. They had an AED. They had an automatic external defibrillate. They're turning around. They're calling the Coast Guard. They're coming in. The family of the victim,
Right.
I say victim, the person who passed away, sued the charter boat company, and the captain was found guilty of gross negligence because he didn't have a satellite phone on board. Not that it would have made a difference, but because he was out of range from a VHF, so they're running in, and could have the emergency crews gotten to the dock. It's that they get down to that. So anything is within the realm of possibility. So if Greg was out on my vessel and he stubbed his toe, and if he was of a like mind to go and he's because he lost his toenail,
Right.
And maybe he's a ballroom dancer in secret. We don't know. We don't know what Greg does when we're not on the air.
It could be.
And it took away his livelihood or his enjoyment of his recreational activity. I could be sued. And all they have to do is show that I knew that existed, or I had him take off the only protection, his shoes, that could have kept him from being harmed, and I'm probably going to be found guilty of gross negligence.
Now, the way you get out of that is you always carry an extra anchor on your boat.
Absolutely.
And if you know it's Greg that's going to happen to,
Hold this for me.
You wrap it around him, you toss him over, and you go back in and say, Greg, who?
Hey, Greg, I need you to check something on the bottom of the hull. This extra weight will make sure that you stay. I've got the line. All you got to do is tug once, and I'm going to haul you back up.
Okay. Well, what we've learned from this is never go boating with Patrick or Barry.
That's right. We're
At
not
least
going
when
to
it comes
take
to
anyone
me.
out.
But it is what it is. All right. We have some other stories to navigate through here on our 19-year anniversary show. Where do you want to go next, Patrick?
Breaking yesterday was a story off of Jekyll Island. Everybody familiar with Jekyll Island?
I am.
Okay.
Nice place.
So,
where is it?
North Carolina, right? Up there, or Georgia? Is it Georgia or North Carolina?
Georgia, I believe. Jekyll Island.
Okay. Yeah.
So 3 crew members had to be rescued off of a commercial vessel, but I could only imagine the smell coming from this vessel as these guys were rescued. A shrimp boat caught fire.
Wait, no.
Shrimp on the
Broiled
Barbie.
Shrimp
Yummy.
is good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I could only imagine.
Yeah.
This they must have had every rescuer in the area heading out
yeah.
there with a fork and tartar sauce.
Shrimp on a
man.
shrimp boat.
Let it burn,
No, the red sauce. The what do they call it? The
Cocktail sauce. Little
Just start
cocktail
dipping and
sauce,
eating,
little
man.
barbecue,
my
grilled
God.
shrimp,
side of fire extinguisher foam. Good stuff.
Cajun
You wash
shrimp,
it off with the ocean water.
fried shrimp,
Sea salt.
Shrimp sushi.
shrimp sushi. Yeah, more coming up on the World of Boatings.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Come on, Williams, what are you standing around for here? Get on board.
Get on board. Don't fret. Don't try to worry. Just get on board. I'll take you there. Just get on board. Don't worry about your destination. 'Cause I'll tell you where we're going when we get there.
This is the World of Emoting.
There's something seriously wrong with you people.
Yeah, well, we don't have time to get through that. We got 19 years under our belt, and it's time for a good cry. What do you say, Barry?
I think
On the
I didn't
World
know
of
you were taking
Emoting.
Imodium again.
Yeah, well,
Hey, you got to be careful with
World of Emoting. Like, you
Imodium.
know, just let it out. Patrick, go ahead. You can put your head on Barry's shoulder and just cry. You'll feel way better after it. Like, why did I
Greg's
waste
World of
19
Imodium.
years doing this dumb, stupid show?
Because it's too hot to
Those
be
are your
outside.
words, not my words. I
Yeah.
value each and every minute that I've spent on air as dispensing what I hope our listeners find to be not only useful,
Uh-huh.
but at times entertaining.
Okay.
But I got
Let it
news
out.
for you. I
Let it
think-
out,
I
Patrick.
think that if we put on air the 3 minutes prior to us going live, we would go viral. Because
Really?
people, oh yeah, because people would, first of all, my fan base would increase exponentially, and yours would decrease
Uh-huh.
drastically if people were able to take witness to
Let
Our
it out.
meeting?
that sheer nonsense that you engage in prior to us going live. And I know why you do it. It's like poking me with a cattle prod. I'm going
Okay.
to get them riled up. I'm
All
going to get them riled up. And then I'm going to call him that crotchety, cranky old Captain Patrick on air.
Yep.
And people don't realize it's entirely your doing, where you are just tweaking right before we go live. And then you just sit back. You're like the master of puppets at that point at your control board.
Oh, okay. All right. Then they're
Uh,
there.
You
Now-
know his secret.
do you feel a lot better now? See? You feel-
No,
Welcome
I
to the
don't.
world of emoting. Here on our.
This is the worst
19
therapy ever.
the world of Imodium.
Hey, Barry, you're slightly confused. But regardless, that's fine. Let's just move on. Okay, so what else do we need to navigate through as far as the boating stuff? Since, we're on a roll with 19 years, why don't we go ahead and keep with that theme, I guess.
Well, there's a story that came out this week, and it's came out of I think Massachusetts area, and it engages on a much broader context, if you will, for our listeners. And this is a question that I pose: public boat ramps.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. should public boat ramps be open to commercial businesses?
What? Okay, so when you say commercial business, give me an example of what
Okay.
they would do.
Like
Well-
a boating charter or fishing charter company or something,
No,
or
so
what?
somebody who has a business and they run commercials on TV, Greg. Yes.
That was good.
Hilarious.
You know, I had that because I knew he was going to ask that.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
So
well,
it was just a matter. I have a whole list of stuff. I have a whole list for Greg.
All right,
Um,
so explain.
I think
So,
we ought to
like-
resort back to the world of goating. It was much more fun then.
So let's say whether I have I'm running a private charter, you know, taking people out on a flats boat. Maybe I have a boat repair business. Maybe I'm a boat dealer. Should I have access? I'm a commercial business. Okay.
Right.
I'm not using the boat for personal use, personal recreation. I am basically using it for my business, for business purposes.
But-
Should commercial businesses be able to use public boat ramps?
Yeah, I say yes.
I don't see why it wouldn't be, as long as they weren't clogging up the ramp. I mean, I
Right.
see it down here.
Within reason. I mean, if they started overtaking it and trying to launch 100 boats on a weekend and gumming up the works to a level that obviously was creating huge problems, I mean, that's an issue. But if they're just putting in like a new boat for a demo for a potential sale or something like that, why not? Why couldn't they?
Well, this is
their
this is
business.
out of Maryland.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
discussion among county officials could lead to limits being placed on who can and cannot launch their boats from public boat ramps. Fishermen are worried that this could put them in a sticky situation. Public boat ramps in the county in Maryland are meant to be used by the public. Signs at several of these ramps explicitly state commercial use is not allowed. What the signs don't allude to or clarify is what falls under the category of commercial use.
Right.
Well,
And
if you
that-
tried to
that's what-
do, say, for instance, I mean, I know it's a lake, so they probably don't necessarily have like a snorkeling charter, but if you had a business set up and they launched a boat and had their customers come and load on the boat there at the boat dock, that was a public launching area, yeah, that would be a problem. But if they're just launching a boat and getting out of the way, I mean, I can't imagine that they'd have a big problem with that.
Well,
mean-
I've seen that with people with their fishing boats. You know, it's not a personal boat. It may have a name on the side of it or something like that. And they'll launch and they'll pull the boat over to the dock and they'll wait for the clients to come and then they load them up and they go. But it doesn't take away from people to launch the boats. It's not as though you have like Jeff's 40-foot,
Dive boat.
twin hull dive boat.
Right, where you have
actually
like
going
40
up.
snorkelers on it.
Start-
Yeah.
Exactly. I could see that being a problem.
I mean, it's
Well,
a
here's
matter
the-
of degree, you would think. Yeah.
Here's the thing: when you come to people who are using, they have a business. They are usually on and off that ramp quicker. I know in my experience, and the times that I've waited, and there's a reason why I don't carry a handgun, especially when I'm within close proximity to a boat ramp, and where I've actually had to get out of the rig because usually I'm launching something that's very large, and actually offer to help because this guy who's launching a jet ski is in the middle of this 25-foot wide ramp and can't back up. And look, I understand you're here on your time. This is your recreation. I'm working for a business. I've got a customer waiting, or I'm waiting to get this boat out because it's an oversized load. I got to get back in a certain amount of time. So I still to this day I can launch and recover, a 42-foot yacht off of a ramp quicker. I actually did a video a few years ago utilizing the ramp at the factory, showing how I go about launching. In fact, when I was up in Jacksonville, Rusty met me up at a public ramp. I was launching a 46, and he's like, "You need help?" I said, "No, I got this." He's like, "Really?" He said, "I want to watch this." And within, I don't know, call it 4 minutes, boat was launched and tied up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, why would anyone complain about that? It sounds like this situation, there might be something locally going on where some business came in and gummied up the works, and then someone said, "Hey, why you can't do this?" And
Does
then
the
they-
article say anything about what type of people were causing the issues, or it just says commercial?
It I guess the county commissioners there There are a couple that are opposed to limiting, and there's some that are for it. What I look at is this, to something you guys had said. If you're not causing a disruption, a disruption no greater than what a private boat owner causes, trying to get up off the ramp with their 1989 Ford LTD, as they're trying to pull a 35-foot boat, with it, and are slipping and sliding sideways or sinking. I mean, some of the public, they're worse.
Right.
Oh, they're absolutely worse.
But they're
Yeah.
providing the entertainment there at the,
Yes, they
the
are.
boat dock.
I have
So
a closing thought on this.
closing thought after the break on the world of boating. Stay clear. Our world of goating or our world of emoting, we'll come up with something.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish because I eat me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
This is the world of toting. I am Greg, your first mate. Barry the boater likes to tote things around, or I don't know, maybe he's wearing those totes. And Captain Patrick has one of those tote umbrellas that collapse up. I mean, it's like no bigger than the size of your hand.
Those are
very
expensive.
efficient. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They're
this
they're
is
not cheap.
the world of toting. 19
Okay.
years and time to make a change. So we'll see if that one sticks. All right. Patrick has a final thought about this last story, which is what?
The
Patrick.
story or my thought?
Well, I guess a bit of both, maybe.
Okay, so the story revolving around commercial use of public boat ramps.
Mm-hmm.
This story coming out of Maryland. My closing thought is this: you have commercial businesses that should have full access to these ramps. Not only are they creating creating tax revenue with their business, they're creating employment with their business. They're helping to grow or sustain the economy in those areas. Leave them alone.
Okay. All right. So Patrick's coming out in support of business. They should have access to the ramps like every other public entity.
There are
And that's
bigger
that.
things to worry about other than who's using the boat ramp. Like when in the last segment we're talking, I'd be more concerned about private boat owners that are out there and don't know what the heck they're doing as far as launching or recovering their boat and are making the situation at the ramp almost to the point where it's the wild, wild west and people are going to start pulling weapons and it's gunfight time.
Right.
So
but that's what makes it fun. So let's not mess with that magic formula.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do on a Saturday afternoon or Sunday for that matter? Good times.
Good times. So in our pre-show meeting, Greg, you wanted to talk about the Wally boat.
Yeah. That was at the Palm Beach Boat Show, made its debut, right?
Well, it's the latest addition to the Wally fleet. Is the Wally Power 58X. This story was, of course, posted at worldofboating.com and at World of Boating on Facebook, where you can find the stories that we talked about on today's show, as well as all the other ones that we didn't get to. Not to mention any boating. You can always go back, scroll back through the posts, and you'll find stuff there that you might find interesting. Maybe not, but we do our best to provide, industry information, and sometimes it's funny boating stories, and sometimes it's
Mildly
things that-
amusing.
Yeah, or things that we, even though it may be something that it may consider to be tragic, there's lessons to be learned. So, we try to talk about that as well. But the Wally boat, beautiful looking boat, kind of got that.
Wait,
that
this is
straight
the
up-
one that Ferrari is part of, or is that who it is? Or no, not
Yeah.
Ferrari.
Well, Ferrari. How do
Yeah,
you
which
pronounce
has
that?
I don't know.
Ferretti. That's it.
Okay, the
Fancy.
complete opposite of Ferrari.
But it's very
it
fancy.
starts with an F.
But it's very.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that start with an F,
With an F,
Barry. You want me to go through the list?
No, we'll get beeped too much.
But this was a perfect debut for something like at the Palm Beach Boat Show that kind of caters to that yachty type of crowd. It's a little bit
except
more
it's really
of an
not a
upscale.
yacht. It's more.
Well,
of a,
right, but it's
more of a
fancy.
speedboat.
Yep.
Any idea? Did you see what the horsepower is on this? How this thing's set up for power, Greg?
A lot.
Is this the
Well,
58
when
foot
it
you're
comes to
talking about?
specifics, here's where you come for all that information is Greg at World of Boating.
Of
How much
course.
power does that boat have, Greg? A lot.
There's 4 of them. I know that.
2,400 horsepower.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, four Merc Verado V12.
Yeah, but I'll tell you,
600.
it's weird. Did you see the pictures of this thing? Those outboards, almost the way they got this thing dressed up on the transom, it looks like it's built into the boat. It doesn't look like your typical outboard type of setup.
Well, because these are the new Verados, so the upper part of the engine is
cowling,
fixed
yeah.
in place.
Oh,
Right.
those are the ones where just the lower unit turns.
Only the lower unit turns.
Yeah, looks fancy.
That's why they can pack
Sleek-
these things in there
sleek.
pretty tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I
Mhm.
wonder if it's going to make it handle better than turning a whole engine.
Yeah, who
If it makes
cares? It
any
looks
difference.
awesome. It looks.
No, it does.
Yeah, I mean
it's a-
that's the. I mean the sleekness of this vessel, I think, is on another level. I mean, I was
Yeah.
like, "Woo!" If I saw that out on the water, that'd be a serious head turner.
This would be
If
in
you
a
saw
James
that out
Bond
on the
movie.
water, you'd be trying to figure out how you could run go-karts on its deck.
Well, duh. Who wouldn't? You don't
That
have.
boat would be perfect if I could run go-karts on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Greg,
no,
it's
I
only
stubbed
You
50
get all
feet
that
long.
extra
It
deck
doesn't
space.
matter.
The the outboards are kind of buried down. You get more track room.
This would
Yeah.
be a James Bond boat.
It does
You could see
exactly.
this in one of those movies. Yeah.
Yeah, a new one, a James Bond. This would be a good chase boat or something in a James Bond film. But it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's no Moonraker, I'll tell you.
I mean, do
that.
you like it, Patrick? You're a big fan of new things like this. I mean, do you like that style, or are you not or
Well,
what
yeah,
do you think?
because it's kind of got something that the super yachts moved to quite a while back. It kind of what's new, what's old is new again, and this is the kind of that straight up and down bow, very angular, very sleek. What I really like about it, no windows in the hull.
Yes, I know you
None.
hate those. You hate those.
None.
Absolutely.
None.
Okay.
I don't have to worry about coming in and docking and oops, and there goes my $3,000 window, just because I came up against a piling a little too hard. No windows. If I'm going down below deck, I don't need to see outside.
But the
And no one
Wally
wants to see
Power-
inside if you're in there, probably either, if you know what I mean. But that's a whole different thing. Yeah, Barry, what?
If you were to get the Wally Power 165, that does have windows on the side.
Oh, okay. Well,
stick
then
to the
don't get that
smaller
one.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah, well, you
you're,
asked about this one, Barry. He
I
asked,
know,
what did I
I
like
know.
about this one?
Yes.
Mhm.
Not,
No,
not
you're-
about
you're
the others.
right.
What's the
Now,
price
don't-
tag on this thing? Do we know? Or does it say what they were debuting this thing at?
I'll tell you in a minute. I just
All
had
right.
it up a second ago.
Once anything is over about $1,800, I'm out of the market.
Yeah, well, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. It
Pretty
is
much.
one
No,
of
you
those.
can request a brochure, but that's about it. They're not
The-
going to give
the-
you any other information.
The only thing I don't like about it, and I know this is the way the industry has been going for quite a while, I'm still not sold on it, still not a fan, unless you had a very, 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 like a super yacht. And at that point, I'd say, why do you need this feature on it? But this is another boat, another yacht, where the aft gunnels fold down to create more deck space
Mhm.
on the boat.
You don't like
And
that?
I don't,
Why?
because I don't see why you need that.
Well, more is always better.
Not to mention, I still have my concerns. I mean, from a construction standpoint, there's a reason why. If you didn't need those the hull sides there, I would just have it to where it ends here, and then when I come to anchor, these slide out from underneath.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't see why it's such a man. Look, I press this button and the sides of my boat fold down.
It's called cool. It's the cool factor. Barry, what do you think?
Well, I'm just curious as to why a boat this big, which I would call a yacht at this point, has only one cabin and 2 bathrooms.
Because it's got a bow seating area.
And
okay,
obviously,
I see
the
it,
builders figured this was for that niche market of folks with digestive issues, I guess.
But folks with just 2 people in the boat, it's a
Yeah. Well, you know,
Hey,
my
she's
only
pretty.
complaint about the whole thing, I think it's an awesome vessel, but when you call it a Wally boat, I mean, I think that's after the name of the guy who designed it, Wally. I mean, that just doesn't instill confidence if you don't really know the backstory.
Oh, I see what
It's
he's
like,
talking
hey, you
about.
want to buy one of Fred's boats? Hey, buy a Fred boat. There's a Wally boat. You
You
know.
mean if your last name was Sinker and
Yeah,
you
like-
started a boat company?
Oh yeah, they
that
make
would be
them.
great.
They make them at Wally World there. You know, from Christmas Vacation. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I
don't
like
know.
Sinker better.
But I'm usually right. And on that
You're
note,
not.
before they can respond, we're going to wrap it up. Remember, after 19 years, it still applies today, whether it's sail or motor.
Life is better as a motor.
Safe boating, everyone.
Come back here, you barnacle-bitten swab!
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.